told me I've seen it all before. I've been there. I've seen my hopes and dreams lying on the ground. I've seen the sky just begin to fall. To see all things pass into the night. And I say, oh no, so I'm not so wrong. I must disagree. Oh no, so I'm not so wrong. Won't you listen to me?
Hello to you and welcome, wherever you may be on this planet, the planet Tale of a Donkey. And a happy new year. I hope it will be a good one for you. I have some material about flying carpets today, and from Gurdjieff, the sense that man is the neutralizing force of the universe. Beelzebub says, by this time, my first Tescoano had been set up in the observatory I'd constructed there, and I was devoting myself entirely to the organization and development of this observatory of mine, in order to make a more detailed study of the remote concentrations of our great universe and of the planets of that solar system. Among the latter, the planet Earth particularly engaged my attention. Time passed. The process of existence on this planet was gradually established, and to all appearances was taking place just as on all other planets. But by close observation, it could be seen that the number of three-brained beings was increasing. Furthermore, sometimes very strange manifestations of theirs could be observed. They did something from time to time that was never done by three-brained beings on other planets. That is, they would suddenly, without rhyme or reason, begin destroying one another's existence. Sometimes, this destruction of one another's existence was not limited to one region, but took place in several regions at once, and would last not only for one Diagnost, but for many, and even for whole Ornacross. It was also noticeable at times that, owing to this horrible process of theirs, their numbers rapidly diminished, but at other periods, when there was a lull, their numbers noticeably increased. We gradually got used to this last peculiarity of theirs, telling ourselves that obviously for certain higher considerations, this property must have been given to the organ Kunderbuffer intentionally by the Most High Commission, because, seeing the fecundity of these biped beings, we assumed that large numbers of them would be needed to maintain the common cosmic harmonious movement. Had it not been for this strange peculiarity of theirs, it would never have entered anybody's head that there was something fishy about that planet. Now let's talk about George Ivanovich Gurdjieff and ancient Mesopotamia. The ancient wisdom, very ancient indeed. I feel a certain romantic smoke spreading all over. I love this kind of talk, and I'm sure many people do. George Ivanovich Gurdjieff. It evokes memories of steam journeys through Siberia, desperate journeys through the night. I can hear the music starting already, all in my imagination. Much of human life is romantic smoke, isn't it? People particularly like the idea of ancient wisdom. Ancient wisdom, it is like we are descending the steps of the great pyramids of Giza. But there is no magic by doing, said Gurdjieff, and wisdom must be about doing. Ancient wisdom, you say?
Like what? Like what? You tell me, like what?
Now last week I went through the Proto, the Deutero and the Trito, the first, second and third, which gives man a rather privileged position in the universe. Let's hear a bit more about that. About both of these fundamental cosmic primordial sacred laws, I have already once told you a little. Now, however, I shall try to explain to you about them in rather more detail. The first of these fundamental cosmic sacred laws, namely the law of Heptaparaparshinok, present-day objective cosmic science, by the way, formulates in the following words: the line of the flow of forces constantly deflecting according to law and uniting again at its ends. This law has 7 deflections, or as it is still otherwise said, 7 centers of gravity, and the distance between each 2 of these deflections or centers of gravity is called a stopinder of the sacred Heptaparaparshinok. This law, passing through everything newly arising and everything existing, always makes its completing processes with its 7 stopinders. And as regards the second fundamental primordial cosmic law, namely the sacred triamazecamno, cosmic objective science formulates it in these terms: a new arising from the previously arisen through the Harnal Miatznel, the process of which is actualized thus: the higher blends with the lower in order to actualize the middle, and thus to become either higher for the preceding lower or lower for the succeeding higher. As I have already told you, this sacred triamazecamno consists of 3 independent forces, which are called the first Serp Earthios, the second Serp Skiros, the third Serp Athanatos, which 3 holy forces of the triamazecamno the said science calls as follows: the first, the affirming force or the pushing force, or simply the force plus; the second, the denying force or the resisting force, or simply the force minus; and the third, the reconciling force or the equilibrating force or the neutralizing force. It is interesting to notice, by the way, that the 3-brained beings of this planet which has taken your fancy already began at that period when the consequences of the properties of the organ Kundabuffer were not yet crystallized in their common presences, to be aware of these 3 holy forces of the sacred triamazecamno, and then named them the first, God the Father, the second, God the Son, and the third, God the Holy Ghost, and in various cases expressed the hidden meaning of them and also their longing to have a beneficent effect from them for their own individuality. Sources of divine rejoicings, revolts and sufferings, direct your actions upon us. Or, wholly affirming, wholly denying, wholly reconciling, transubstantiate in me for my being. Now, my boy, listen further very attentively. It's interesting to consider what our role really is as a Tritocosmos. Slowly and over several months I have managed to integrate work with the 3 bodies into the formal alchemical practices that I do. It was not very easy. That's the 3 bodies rather than 3 centers, working at a totally different scale. The second body, being close to feelings and the breath, is not so far away from us, but the mental body is like a white dome. And I think it can only be cultivated with a large amount of formal, traditional meditation methods. I was thinking this morning that from 1900 onwards, European people took a great interest in India, where they went to find teachers and methods and so on. It was a continuation of the fall away from Catholicism. But these days, they seem to be falling away of any sense of religion at all. at least in the official conversation of society. I've come to understand that the earth of society, meaning the body, changes at a much slower rate than that endless talking. And as I have learnt, all the old traditions from Taoism, Hinduism, Catholicism, Judaism still operate really quite fine. Working with the three bodies progressively towards the end of my practice, when they're all active, there is a definite sense of completeness and wholeness that comes from three layers working together, which implies, in fact, the advancement to a higher story. And one has to have quite desperate reasons to do such large amounts of work, in truth. I was cleaning the bath the other day with lemon sif, scrubbing it down. I thought I would go over it twice to be sure, but then I scrubbed it down 3 times. Oh yes, and last week I put up a very important essay by Shuon. I've listened to it several times over, and I see that he really does understand things very deeply. He talks about man falling out of the sense of space into that of the unfolding and quickening time. What does it mean, and what did traditional man feel in his world of space? What does that mean? Well, what it means is that he could feel the space because something was flowing out from him. In other words, he was experiencing his astral body interacting with the environment. That is what it means when somebody talks like that about the traditional world that was spatial. But losing connection to the astral body, man has fragmented and fallen into the split functions. The 3 centers have fallen apart. That is why people have to be reinitialized from above. Where is our real self, and how will we find it? There is a house lying in ruins after an earthquake. Surely if I dig down in the rubble, I'll find the true house. I've got a peace lily here. I'm not so good with plants, I'm learning. It was looking a bit sad this morning. So in my morning haze I fetched some water in a jug, and I was about to pour it on the plant when I thought, no, not like that. And I carefully moved the leaves apart, and I thought about where the water should go, and I carefully poured it in those places. And as I walked back with the jug, things were different. Solomon's magic carpet. The Quran says that Solomon used to travel on a carpet which was carried off by the winds. Allah gave Solomon command over the winds by which he was able to travel a 2-month journey in less than a day. It blew at his bidding towards the land which we had blessed, and we caused a fount of molten copper to flow for him. And of the jinn were some who worked under him by the command of his Lord. Solomon had a mat made of wood on which he would place all the equipment of his kinship, horses, camels, tents, and troops. Then he would command the wind to carry it, and he would go underneath it, and it would carry him aloft, shading him and protecting him from the heat, until it reached wherever he wanted to go in the land. Then it would come down and deposit his equipment and entourage. I have one more quote from Maimonides. It is proper for a man to overlook all the things of the world, for according to those who understand, everything is vain and empty and not worth taking vengeance for. I will wish you well. Thank you for listening, and Happy New Year once again.